IBIARI festival is a yearly pilgrimage where descendants of certain ancestors go to perform worship on the head of their ancestor. For the Iche clan, Abam Ilangi is their destination for the worship. It is purely a male affair as women are prohibited from such worship. The journey usually commences with the announcement of the coming out of the chief priest, which is the Ponjin Bin, by a town crier. Ascending the hills is a difficult task that has to be done with care and requires stamina. Along the routes, there are no go areas for our cameras, and we have to obey. On reaching the worship site, the chief priest leads the clearing of debris on the head of the ancestor, which is the Ngandulong. So do members of other ancestry, as the Iche clan has 5 major clans and other sub-clans. The 5 major Ngandulong clans are Nsum, which is Lirfa, others are Sungnap, Vangan, Marzwal, and Katang. The Ponjin Bin goes ahead to appease the gods by performing the necessary sacrifice after adding mud, water, and guinea corn paste known as IBIARI on the ancestor's head. He then slaughtered a cock and a ram and poured the blood on the built mold. After the sacrifice and incantation, worshippers line up to receive blessings from the chief priest. Other clans and sub-clans also perform their worship simultaneously with that of the Ponjin Bin. The chief priest, Komtung Malam, says his prayer points for the 2022 festival is centered on peace in the land. He equally advised farmers against selling their farm produce so cheap to middlemen. Chairman of Lantan North Local Government Council, Bitrus Zulfa, a descendant of one of the ancestors, Zuzul, said the festival has positive economic impact on the local government area, just as it's also an avenue for unity.
People from the neighboring local government come here to showcase their farm produce and in return exchange it through selling it. And by doing this, that's put food on the table of so many people. It boosts the revenue generation of Lankan North. Every festival, it is the entirety of the Taroh nation that gathers here, and not just Taroh people, but you can see our neighboring brothers and Gas people. They are equally here. You could see the Gemai people, some of them are here. So it has a significance of uniting the people because cultural ideas are being shared by the Ponjin Bins to the people who gathered here. And this is one of the ways that oral traditions are being transmitted from one generation to the other.
The festival is also geared towards preservation of the culture of the Iche people, as explained by the Ngwangwang Oga Jat, meaning the shield of Jat community, Takbal Dalen.
Young children are very much around here. These children are learning from the elders. It's just like oral history. Most are not written. It is passed from young generation to another generation. Now, while I was up, some youth came with red colors, and they were told, "We don't come here with red colors." That is an education they have learned. I was told, "I don't need to bring this spear and repair it." So I have learned there also. So those children that are with me, I also learn, and it continues like that.
Son of the chief priest and councillor representing Kufen B Ward in Lantan North Local Government Council, Numde Nanchang, explained that with the festival over, farmers are now permitted to harvest their guinea corn.
Because this was a major grace that was blessed in this land. So the Taroh people worship the guinea corn very well. So it's only the guinea corns that until they go for a IBIARI festival and come down before they will harvest it. Any other product, they can be harvested anytime. And that is why everything that you see here is product of guinea corn, including the IBIARI that has been applied to everybody here. Is the product of guinea corn. Yes, because the first Gandulong man use the guinea corn for sacrifice.
Down the hills, the music coming from the drum, a flute and a gong signifies the chasing of death from the land by the worshippers led by the chief priest. Away from the worship site, it's business for people who catch in the opportunity to sell their goods, just as commercial motorcyclists get high patronage. As the entire Iche clan are unanimous in their decision to preserve and hand over their culture to the next generation and generation years unborn, the words on their lips is Ngampial Nabit Lemvoyaket, meaning forward ever, backward never. For Social Diary, I am Thaddeus Zillman.